Sean, Diddy, Combs' lawyers are pushing back against the federal government's early requests ahead of trial. The music mogul's legal team has responded to the prosecutor's requests about which evidence should be included, or excluded, in court documents filed in the Southern District of New York April 22. Judge Arun Subramanian's ruling on these requests will shape the entirety of the Bad Boy Records founder's trial, set to begin with jury selection May 5. Prosecutors and Combs' team are arguing over evidence that could make or break either side's case. Prosecutors appear to be setting up much of their case ahead of time, while Combs' lawyers say the government is seeking sweeping decisions too soon. Diddy on Trial newsletter. Step inside the courtroom with USA Today as Sean, Diddy, Combs faces sex crimes and trafficking charges. Subscribe to the newsletter. Combs' criminal trial is set to begin in less than 2 weeks. The 55-year-old Grammy-winning hip-hop mogul is on trial for 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution and 1 count of racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Need a break? Play the USA Today daily crossword puzzle. Combs' legal team is looking to iron out details around the government's use of anonymous accusers, particularly the use of pseudonyms for Victim 3 and Victim 4, arguing allowing these particular accusers to remain unnamed impacts Combs' right to a fair trial and face his accusers publicly, and that the government's reasoning for keeping them anonymous isn't strong enough. Prosecutors also want broad permission to use statements made outside of court, which are typically not allowed, using several legal exceptions, including those made by alleged co-conspirators, Combs' employees, and prior statements from accusers. Combs' lawyers argue that each should be reviewed case by case during the trial. Other evidence or testimony in question. The admission of a 911 call from an alleged burglary victim of Combs'. The government's attempt to exclude evidence of Diddy's consensual sexual encounters, personal background, or good acts. The Combs team's use of a rebuttal expert. If a government expert is allowed to testify, prosecutors are looking to use evidence from a December 2011 911 call from a man reporting a break-in, which prosecutors claim Combs committed. Combs' lawyers say it's inadmissible. Prosecutors don't want Combs' team sharing Combs' prior sexual encounters where consent was present, nor good acts, like philanthropic work or his personal life, as it may confuse and distract a jury. But Combs' lawyers argue consensual sexual encounters would be used to rebut the government's racketeering claims. His team also claimed that any evidence of good acts or personal background would not be used to get sympathy from the jury. The government is also seeking witness testimony from Dr. Don Hughes, a clinical and forensic psychologist, who is set to explain to the jury concepts and patterns of domestic and sexual abuse. Combs' team wants to offer its own witness, Drive. Alexander Barty, a psychiatrist, said to disagree with Hughes' opinion that certain patterns are typical in such cases. Contributing,